Super duper doo, how are you? Is your past affecting your future? Great question. What can I change about what's happened in the past? Nothing. But are there people who are bitter, twisted, angry, let their past affect their present and their future because something horrible happened in the past? And of course the answer is yes. Psychologists and psychiatrists and counsellors' offices are full of people who are angry about the past or bitter and twisted about the past, and they're trying to fix it. Well, my logical question about the past is always this: what can I change about the past? Nothing. I can't go back and do anything differently because it's in the past. So I can choose to do one of two things. I can learn from it, grow from it, get better from it, stronger, tougher, wiser. Or, like most people, I can be bitter and twisted and angry and blame my past for my non-success of my present and my future. Now, I just refuse to do that. How about you? Because it's something that I can't change, I just want to learn from it and grow from it and get better because of it. And a very personal thing to share. I ran away from home when I was 15. I share that quite regularly. But that obviously has a story behind it. There's a reason that I didn't want to be at home as a teenager. I have 3 sisters and a brother, and they'll probably tell you very different stories to me about my mum and dad. But all humans have failures, they make mistakes, they do stupid stuff, we all do. And I could say that about my parents. I could say they did some horrible things, they were terrible people, and I could be all bitter and twisted and angry about my parents, and my brothers and sisters for that matter. But it's not going to make my life right now any better, and it's certainly not going to make my future any better. So what I wanted to do was take very consciously, I took the best of my dad and the best of my mum and implanted them into myself and got rid of the rest. So my father was an amazing man and my mother was an amazing woman, if you look for the amazing things. If you look for the horrible, ugly, terrible things, you'll probably find them too. But I chose not to look at them. So because my father was so strong and he expected the best of me and he wanted me to have the best of everything, he taught me that the best place to find a helping hand is at the end of your own arm. And he taught me to never accept anything that's disrespectful from other people. So I took all of that and applied it to my life. My mother was the hardest working woman ever. She had the cleanest house ever because my mother was German. She really consciously wanted to make the very, very best of her life to make sure that she could support her family. So she worked really hard. So my mum and dad were the hardest workers ever. There was no such thing as 9 to 5. There was no such thing as weekends. My parents just worked really hard. They had the most amazing work ethic. So I took that and implanted it in my life to make my life better. The rest of the stuff I've left behind. What's really interesting, because I work with people every single day, there's a lot of people that share with me that they can't be successful or they can't be happy or they can't have a great life because of the way their parents treated them or their brothers and sisters or a partner or something that horrible that happened to them in the past. The reverse of that, I also work with a great group of people, and there's not many of them, but there are a lot of people that had terrible pasts. There are some people that have taken those terrible pasts and used them as a reason to be successful in the future. I don't want my life to be like that, so I'm going to do this to make sure that it's not. And that's the interesting thing when you analyse very carefully, research, study people who are very successful, business people, sports people, musicians, people that are living a life that they love. A lot of those people will share very personally that the reason they are successful, the reason they chase their dream, the reason they're a great sports person or a great business person or a billionaire or they're doing what they love every day is because of their horrible past. They decided that they didn't want their life to be like that. And I often share this we all meet different people. This is a really interesting experience that happened to me. I've managed health clubs all over the world. And there was a young man that came into one of my health clubs one day and he was dressed in a 3-piece suit. He had beautiful posture, tall, good looking, just looked amazing. And after we chatted for a little while, because his goal was to be healthy, fit and strong for the rest of his life, he shared with me that he was very successful in business. He had no challenge financially. He just wanted to have a body that matched his success. So he was here he was healthy, fit and strong now, but he wanted to stay that way for the rest of his life. So we had a great conversation. We're on the same path. What was interesting about that is he shared with me that he had a brother, only 1 year difference in age. And both of his parents one was a drug addict, one was a prostitute, and they kind of worked off each other in that situation. And his brother had gone down the drug dealing path, the same as his father. But he shared with me that the reason that he was so successful, the reason that his life completely turned around, is he didn't want that. So he used that as an example of what he didn't want so that he could make his life better. He didn't blame his parents. He wasn't angry with his parents. He wasn't bitter and twisted that his parents had chosen a different path. He just used that as a reason to be successful, to have a life that he loved. And I'm sharing that with you very personally because we get to choose that, don't we? We don't have to be angry, bitter and twisted about the past. We can choose to be, and I'll share again, there are many psychologists and psychiatrists and counsellors, couches that are full of those people. And they often, and this is going to sound very harsh, but a lot of people use their past as an excuse. I can't because of my past. Well, I can't change what happened in the past, so I can't even use that as an excuse. Because there are people that have had terrible pasts who have used that past as a reason to be happy, to be successful, to be healthy, fit and strong. Again, I'll use the example of health club management around the world. I've chatted to lots of people, and one of the biggest, or the first questions I always ask is, why are you here? What brought you here today? And a lot of people have shared with me that my mum's overweight, my dad's sick, my kids or my family are unhealthy, and I don't want to be like that, so I need to set the example for them, or I don't want to live the same life as my mother or my father. A lot of people share with me, yes, I'm a woman, my mother is overweight, depressed, angry, on drugs, angry with her life and angry with herself, and she hates the way she looks. I don't want to live my life like that. So they use their parents or their partner or their family as a reason to change their life. We get to choose the reasons that we live our life the way we do now. The excuses, the justifications don't have to be the way we live in the future. We can change our life today. And that sounds very motivational and evangelistic, but it's just the truth. Everything that I do from now can be different. My next meal can be different than my last one. My next day can be different than yesterday. The decisions and choices that I make can be different. And I'm a living, breathing example of that. Because if you looked into, if there was a movie made of my past, you could say, how did this girl turn out this way? Because look what she went through, or look what she had to deal with, or look at the challenges that she had. And this is not feel sorry for me. I'm really proud of all of those things, because all the horrible crap things that have ever happened to me have made me tougher, stronger, better, wiser, and made my life the amazing life that I've got today. But that's a personal choice. So the only thing that I always ask every day in my begging position is, as an adult, you get to live your life exactly the way you want to. But your kids, our future adults, if you're a parent, a teacher, a coach, a boss, a leader, a pastor, and people are looking into your life, are you the person that blames the past and makes excuses about your future because of the past? Or are you the person who people could look at your life and say, wow, that person went through all of that horrible stuff in their past, and look what it made them. It made them tougher, stronger, better, wiser. So I'm out here to beat up Basil, but I'm going to beat him up so that I get tougher, stronger and wiser. And because he's a bag, he's going to handle it. And I'm not going to blame my past for anything. I'm just going to be proud of my past, love my today, and be very excited about my future. What about you? Super duper doo, how are you? I'm living my life to the max. What do you reckon, Basil? Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo, yeah.